Hey everybody. If you've noticed in a few of my videos there's been like a crackle with when I turn my head with my mic. Basically that is because my mic lead was just getting a little bit old. And I think it had a break in the wire. So I've got a new one, so hopefully, you never know, it might even sound better. Yeah, this might divide opinions a bit, and I have a couple of friends who may very well watch this video and they might come back to me and give me some shit for it, because I'm just going to give my honest opinion on ghosts, basically. You know, the paranormal world, ghosts, demons, these sorts of things. As you know, I'm very scientifically minded, so for me to believe in something, I'm going to need to see good evidence, irrefutable evidence, and reasoning as to why something might be a ghost. Now, there has never been any irrefutable evidence for the existence of ghosts. Had there been, there wouldn't be this question, would there? It's in the same way as UFOs, although I actually believe UFOs are much more likely than ghosts, because UFOs, you know, infinite space and time, not time, that's not a fucking dimension, doesn't even exist. Time doesn't exist, we made it up. You know, the millions or trillions of galaxies and all the possibilities, the chances of UFOs is considerably more likely than a life form having some spirit entity inside of it which can carry on. I mean, even in my personal life, strange things have happened. Let's give an example. The house I grew up in, slightly strange layout of the house. It had like a basement, and above that was the kitchen, and that was the sort of the second story, because the ground floor was part of a boat shed, and then the upper level was like the living room and bathrooms and all of that. So the, you know, slightly strange layout. But anyway, the kitchen floor had these like quarry tile type things, and we had wooden furniture. So as you can imagine, you move said piece of wooden furniture over the tiles, it's going to make a hell of a squeaking, very recognisable noise. My dad is in the house on his own. All the doors are locked because it was that sort of lock, and he is in the basement, and he hears someone moving a chair out, and he goes upstairs, and sure enough, a chair is pulled out. There was no one in the house, so that must mean there was a ghost, right? Well, no. I mean, okay, yes, it's hard to explain, but I don't think the most logical solution is that all of a sudden ghosts exist. It's a very humanistic characteristic to find a solution to a problem we don't understand, whatever that may be. And of course, it's a very difficult one to argue, because as people say, well, there isn't any evidence to prove there aren't ghosts. And it's like, well, that's not really the way science works. You prove something's existence first, although actually, I suppose in a way, theories, they do come up with them first and then try and prove them, but they can or cannot prove them in due course. I think up to now we might have proved it. The problem is I just don't believe it. I'm sorry, I just don't. I can't, because there's a few things that just really get me on this one. Apart from the lack of evidence, people say, you know, humans have ghosts. Human beings, we have spirits that carry on. So every single human, are you saying that everyone gets to have a spirit? I don't know, because they say it's when you're in limbo and you haven't gone to heaven. Well, then you're talking about, you know, religion, and let's not go down that line. The thought that only humans have spirits and ghosts and this sort of thing is ridiculous, because we are no different from any other animal creature on this planet. We evolve with everything else. So why do we have ghosts that carry on, but like an ant doesn't? I mean, think of how many trillions, billions, it's an unbelievable number of ants there's ever been. I've never seen a ghost ant. Can you then follow that through to say, well, if animals have it, then plants and things also have a spirit? So, like, could you have ghost ants stealing your ghost jam? And there's another one. This isn't really very scientifically minded, but there are examples of people saying, like, this 17th century ghost was seen in its 17th century clothing. Now, are you suggesting to me that they never, like, move with the fashions? I mean, I think if Henry VIII, you know, he was seen these days, he wouldn't be in his royal robes. He'd be dressed like a fucking pimp. Big coat, you know, fucking big stick and all that, with these, like, beheaded bitches around him. like a little off-road bit. Oh no, this is the path, this isn't off-road. Let's properly off-road it. Yeah, through the grass. Fucking hell, that was a bit deeper than I was expecting. Well, there might be holes in it. Okay, carry on, it's fun. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. That doesn't really make much sense. I know about the whole clothes thing, but it's just a thought I had. God, this is thicker than I thought it was going to be. Oh. Oh, stand up, you dick. Now, the whole subject is really not helped by the fact that you have things like, you know, ghost hunters and all of these programs which in later years turned out to be the people like the seance, no, what are they fucking called, the fucking people who can speak to the dead, the charlatans as I like to call them, are full of shit. And these programs have since had to legally have a thing at the beginning like saying this is for entertainment purposes only. And that really clouds the waters, because maybe there is a truth in it, and, you know, maybe we don't quite understand what it is. I mean, maybe there is something that can influence what's going on in your surroundings, but maybe that's not a ghost. Maybe that's not the spirit of a human being. Maybe it's not the spirit at all. Maybe it's something we don't quite understand yet. And people are going to say, well, if you're that open-minded to like that, why can't you just believe there's things as ghosts? Because it just doesn't make any fucking sense to me. There needs to be evidence. Why isn't everyone seeing ghosts everywhere? Fucking, you know, I've been into some right old buildings. I went into Racton Ruins. You remember that video? What was it? Fuck was it called? The Haunted Tower. There is so many stories of people going up there and shitting themselves because they've heard noises and blah, 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 blah. I went in there. I got no funny feelings. It felt quite a nice little place. You know, but there's other people there's a proper little ghost community around that place, you know, like, oh yes, we've been up there tonight, many things have happened. I've even read a story, it was fucking brilliant, of a group of people who went up there and were sort of round the corner as another group arrived. And the first group of young lads hid in the bushes and started making noises and stuff until these people got so freaked out that they ran off screaming. Look at all them seagulls. Sure we can get any of them to fly. Just a few. What the fuck is that? It looks like a safe. That is a safe! The door's off it though, so I guess they've got everything out of it. Yeah, as I say, it's a really tricky subject because, as I say, I know people who are adamant that it has to be that way, and obviously there's many people who've seen things which they can't explain, and they believe that it can be easily explained by saying that it is the ghost, of someone, but I just know humans, and I just know the way that we jump to conclusions about things like, as I say, people see... what are those ones? Those Chinese lanterns, you know, you let off in the evening, those things you like set fire to and they're made of paper. The things that, you know, like hurt a lot of wildlife and set a lot of fires. Put it in first or it'll fall over. And how many UFO sightings that's caused. I mean, yeah, technically it is a UFO. It's an unidentified flying object. That doesn't mean it's extraterrestrial. That just means something's flying and you don't know what it is. I mean, if someone threw a shit and it flew past you, but it was so fast you couldn't quite tell what it was, it's a UFO. It's actually an unidentified flying shit, but, you know. Use every single rev. That's what they're there for. They're not there to make your tea and coffee, they're there to get you moving, so use them all. Now that's dangerous, look at that bramble. Someone could just drive into that and, oh God! Oh, I gotta sue! Oh, my neck, my back. My neck and my back. I want 100,000, but I'll settle now for 20 bucks. So basically on the ghost subject, this is how I feel about it. I think it's complete bollocks. And if there is something going on there, then it most likely is not going to be the spirit of the dead. It could be something else. But I'm not going to go as far as to say it could definitely not be. I might be wrong. That's the thing. It's just an opinion. My opinion can be changed if the evidence is supplied to prove to me such things are real. And you know, I've had experiences of weird goings on and stuff, but my natural reaction is not to go, it's a ghost. It's more to go, what the fuck happened there? What I really strongly disagree with are these people who say they can talk to the dead. And they give, I mean, for some people maybe, yeah, it helps give them closure about things. Say, oh yes, you know, Timmy, he says that it's not your fault and he doesn't blame you for the anal rupture, but that's how he died, you know, but he's forgiven you. That can give him closure, I can get it, but it's not helping close Timmy's arse. But I think they are utterly just making it up and they're playing on people's emotions. And I don't agree with that one bit. So as I say, I'm not saying if you believe in ghosts you're wrong. I'm just saying as to now, the evidence has not been supplied to me in a strong enough form for me to believe that that is the most sensible solution to what that problem or that situation might be. And of course people are now going to comment in this video, oh well yes, but I was once XYZ and then there was more of the alphabet and shit happened, I was scared, poop came out of my bum like this, and okay, for you that might have been the case, but for me I would have to experience it myself, as I say. And let's face it, why are we scared of them? No one's ever been killed by a ghost, as far as I know. You know, there's never been reason for death, ghost. I mean, I understand, ghost stories are brilliant. You know, sometimes those ghost hunting programs can be very interesting to watch. It's a real like, oh, what happened here, blah, 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 blah. But the UK Ghost Hunters, wherever it was, I can't remember his name. Mr. Charlatan, he is like the king of them. Like, oh, he used to like go to a place and he'd say about certain people dying and certain like key names and events. But the fact of the matter is, it was easily found on Google, and they're like, oh, he didn't know where he was going. Really? If he got his phone out, you know, went onto like GPS, found out where he was, quick Google search, oh, hang on a minute, you know, such and such a person died here. It's believed their ghost is a... And ghosts are also great for tourism. I mean, look at Loch Ness. Look at all of these things. Bigfoot, all fucking, you know, indicator still going. It's great for tourism, so of course people are going to like to continue the story. And it is a great story, even if it's not true. I love doing that. People are like, what the fuck? You know, people say, oh, you know, I went into this dark and dank, echoey little corridor room under a building and I could swear that someone was looking. Yes! It is your natural sort of instinct to, if you're in the dark, to be fucking watching your back. It comes from being an animal, you know. It just makes you jumpy. And that's pretty obvious, really, isn't it? Anyway, as I say, this is just my opinion on it. You can disagree with me, and I'll still be your friend. Because as I say, I have friends that believe in this stuff strongly, and I just like, okay, it's an interesting point of view. This is somewhere where we differ. Whatever, carry on. Anyway, I'll catch you next time. Unless you are carried away by ghost ants. It's one of these things. No, you're just building. It's in the middle of nowhere. Me fall over a stone backwards. Oh, stop the picture! Stop the picture!